About this one a bit. Do your own emotional work on your past and present, so that your own problems, you can be able to put them aside and then focus on the work at hand, so you don't easily get distracted. I've said number 2, that if you are aware this is likely to happen, so when it happens, you manage it, or it doesn't even happen because you are aware of it. And you may talk to someone else about your feelings and attitudes towards a certain client or certain clients. Or sometimes say you want to provide counseling to this particular client. Like the children of your, we're talking about here, please demarcate, try to demarcate. Demarcate, see the difference. And then also see, which I need to prepare, see how you weave in this professional counseling, these professional counseling skills I'm giving here with your personal work. See how you do that. Because professionally, we are not allowed to do counseling for our relatives, for our friends, for the children of our friends. Then we are laughing when we are learning. Then in Swaziland, or Swatini, we are not going to do counseling for anybody. because you go somewhere there, you find somebody to say, okay, because those are my sisters-in-law. You go there, those are my friends of my children, and so on. But the time comes when you say, I'm unable to provide you with the counseling. Can I send you to Father so-and-so? Or I recommend you Father so-and-so. Establish good working relationships amongst yourselves. So that before you say you have failed, Father, before you say you have failed, then can you contact him and then ask them if they can go to him? Also, we know, this is a fact, that there are some people there, some people don't want to hear me say this. Please don't be shy. But I want you to understand. We know that there are some people amongst us who pray better than us. Or somehow God listens to them. But there are people maybe he listens to better than he listens to others. I don't know. But we know that, don't it? So we know there are good counselors out there. Let us ask them to help us with these loads that we have. And that will help us where we are too much sympathetic in certain situations, not to feel that we are carrying the loads on our own. Countertransparency done. Now we are looking at the communication now. These are things you are putting at the back of your mind. You have your client there and you are aware of this. Our non-verbal communication is 2. There is a verbal, there is a non-verbal. Then you have the written communication. These are quite a number of things in modern times. But non-verbal communication is largely unconscious. Sometimes we don't intend to send out a message. And it happens that we have sent it out. And sometimes it is reversible. So that's why, again, we have to be careful on how we sit, how we look at the person, the facial expressions themselves, even the distance between us and the individual we are counseling, even the touch. We have to be careful about all those things in a helping relationship or in counseling. We learn these non-verbal communication styles also at a very early age, from our homes, amongst our peers, and also in our culture. So you must attend to your clients' non-verbal cues. I don't know how you pronounce that. I would pronounce that. Those difficult words there. And you also have to be aware of your own. You find yourself, you've been sitting in a certain way, and then you have to change because you may be diverting the person you are talking to or is talking to you. So that you do not send out wrong information or a wrong message, or you don't disturb the thought process of the person you're providing counseling to. Okay, some elements are here. These face expressions appear to be natural. When one is sad, one is angry, put on the face, it is kind of the same. Some other things change. Let us go down, please. Forgive my speed, but I was talking about this, I sometimes talk about eye contact, where I come from and where I grew up. Me looking at you straight in the eye when you are senior to me is a sign of disrespect, and my people still hold on to it. Yet at school, if I don't look at you straight in the eyes, the Western system, then I'm what? I'm disrespectful. They can even, I'm dishonest actually, the worst part of it. They say you are dishonest. Why don't you look at me in the face when you are talking? What are you hiding? So in some cultures, those things means different things. So you should be aware of the people you are dealing with or the culture that you are in. Before I move on to these others like gestures, somebody enters, a woman from my country comes to your office and she removes the headscarf. I think in Eswatini you can sign the wonder what's happening. Ghana, where I come from, a woman cannot speak to you from this with a scarf on the head. Woman, we have to neighbor. Just remove it, then we start discussing with you. Now, when you go to the Arab countries and what have you, then they not only cover the head, the hair, they cover even the face to show that they're respecting you. So things when you are providing counseling, especially maybe if you are going to be on an international scale or with many people in your parish, you have to be aware of them. Yeah, these gestures are also largely culture-based, but we should be aware of them and what to avoid. This is mainly difficult for us who come or move from country to country. You can say, do or say something which can scare you. Let us go to the next one here. I put a question in the 15 questions you talked about. Spatial position and touch. Go down further. We are. Yeah, we can stop there. As first position, this is the distance between the people, personal space. Usually that is determined by how close we are with somebody and also cultures. But it is recommended that you give as much space as possible to a person you are providing counseling to, especially in the initial stages, or if you don't know this individual well, without again appearing like you don't want to talk to them. If we are in a place like this, you have come for counseling, I sit here and I make you sit there. Now that is too much. But if I'm going to put your chair next to mine and then the one legs are touching, there is a problem. That is unacceptable. And so is touch. Touch is influenced by culture and personal preferences. There are some people who do not like to be touched. Some of them is because they have been abused before. Others is because of their religious beliefs. Others because they are mentally sick. I don't know where I fit, but I don't appreciate being touched. So if somebody is talking to you and is busy tapping, it's okay if you are doing it there, but for some of us it is. I've never been abused, but I'm one of those people who don't appreciate it. When you are providing counseling regarding spatial position and that touch is all the client needs to feel better. Now, where do you draw the line? It's culture, it is individual preference. It's not necessarily about your style of one, but then you can also see how the person is reacting when you are getting close to them. Usually people have issues with the spatial position. They will give a distance. Please do not mind me. You don't come close if somebody is trying to give you space. But if you touch them, give it up and you look at the others and please leave it around. But some people come and hug you when they are crying, and you have to also be careful how you touch And these are things now which we are going to take us to what the question was earlier. I have a client here. What do I do? How do I proceed? These are some of the things that you should be doing. As to the visible boundaries around us, I've talked about that. These are just explanations. Yeah. Let us stop here a bit. Now, there are other non-verbal communication styles or things that we do, and they seem to be consistent across cultures. It's like they are natural, like when we respond to anxiety. For you, it's good to know these things, and then you adjust the way you are talking to this person, or allow this person to cool down, or change the topic until the person has stabilized, and then continue with the process. When somebody is anxious, they'll be trembling, they'll start fidgeting or rubbing their hands, or stiffen, shaking. I sweat. I sweat when anxiety comes to me, or when I think or feel that I'm making a mistake or I've made a mistake, then I will start sweating unnecessarily. And those others. And if somebody is angry, and you need to either stop the session, or you need to change again, adjust the way you are talking, or the way you are sitting yourself, or the way you are looking at an individual. These are some of the responses, non-verbal responses that you will see. And I said that we are required to sit next to the door. If you see the last one, those last two there, actually the last three, somebody is starting to bite nothing or stammering or threatening. Get out. But there are also those for interest. Leaning forward, it's different, like from the one when somebody is disinterested or is angry. I change the position like this. It's not the same as this one. For leaning forward to listen to somebody on there. When talking to somebody, they come to the table closer like this. It shows they are interested. They open their eyes and they nod the yes. How do you manage non-verbal communication? There are three things you can do about it. Number one, pay attention to inconsistencies. What is really happening once you go on with the person. But again, don't look at just one gesture and then you draw a conclusion. Then you'll be falling into another thing you want to avoid, making it being judgmental, which you want to avoid that one. But you, at the same time, you have to pay attention to the non-verbal communication. One is not enough to make you do judgment, so look at them as a group also of those. And lastly, the third one, please. When you yourself you are feeling overwhelmed by stress, or just uncomfortable in the situation you are in, or you are too tired and you are not sitting properly, then take time to relax a bit. Now we have got these basic 6 principles for working with the clients. Stop there. Being reliable and professional. And you have to keep your commitments that you make. Be on time for your appointments. Don't make promises just to please people, because they won't be able to fulfill them. Be respectful. Don't treat people like children. For each one of those, we have written material. Create a relaxed atmosphere. You had a question there on whether you can give me tea or biscuits when I come for counseling to your office. I'm a young man, I have problems, I've come to your office. Yes, you can give me tea if you can afford it. But please, you can't give me money, and you should not give me money. Right? So, unless the situation is financial and you are able to provide that, but not as part of the counseling process. Yeah. Be flexible and be patient. That principle, there are 6 principles, good people. That principle number 4 is very important because some of our clients just lack attention from other people, time from other people to be able to express themselves. People are in a hurry. Here we are saying you have to repeat what you are saying to the individuals coming for counseling. You have to organize the time to fit into their time. But again, don't forget the boundaries you have to create within the way you're offering the service, in as much as you want to be flexible. But if you set your specific time for us to come, and then we are unable to come during that time, then you are not helping us. You are not available to us. Share your own experiences appropriately. We have talked about self-disclosure, and we are saying don't disclose information that may be toxic or counterproductive to the client. How do you determine that? You should, apart from being professional, you should be mature. Is this information I want to release about myself going to help the client? Is it going to be misleading to them, or does it have the potential to mislead the client? But it's good to share experiences carefully. The last one is listen. If you were to ask me which one of these principles is most important, it is listening. And that's where we always get it wrong. We do not have time to listen. We do not know how to listen. I think I'll take about 10 minutes to go through that down there. Now, there is in the professional standards and in the qualities of a counselor, if you were to list them, there's the issue of confidentiality. We include it here in we are able to. Oh, okay. We include that confidentiality issue in being reliable and professional. It comes again in being respectful. If or when you study counseling, almost all the topics you will cover, I joke and I say, all pages, you will find something coming up. There are two things: confidentiality and consent. Confidentiality in counseling. Please pass by the court, let me get a court order, then I'll let you know. This is your child, but I won't tell you, unless the child allows me to talk. And we explain to them, the minors, the importance of their parents or significant others knowing what is happening in their lives. But thank God for the past 25 years. I've made 25 years doing this work on the 12th of July, 25 years in Eswatini. We have not had problems with parents. I don't know if they are not interested or they know the parameters or not. But court order, we talk. I will talk to save your life. I will talk to save your life even without your consent. There are very few situations in which that can happen, but the provision has been made for it. If, for instance, I'm passing by and you have collapsed, or it's an accident and I find you there and the paramedics are there, then I can say, hey, this one is my client. Can I talk to the doctor or to the nurse managing this case? Not to the father, not to the mother, not to the teachers hanging around. No, a health professional. Can I talk to the health professional? This is my client. He's smoking that. There's one marijuana, this one. Or he's using cocaine or those hardy things, or heroin and so on. Why am I saying that? Because if they take you to hospital and you have already taken that stuff, a lot of it, and in hospital they give you medication which it does not match, it does not work with what you use, then you die. Or if you have collapsed because of what we call withdrawal symptoms, you have not taken this stuff, and they give you something again which is contrary, you can get into health problems. So to save your life, I am allowed to talk. We are adding something now, still debatable, but when we are doing our ethical standards, it was included. Another exception, abuse of children. If it comes to my notice or attention that you are abusing children, I will talk. And sometimes people come to talk so that they get arrested. But then I don't want to go and start being a witness there, because then other people fear to come for help because they say they talk. But those 5 situations are exceptions to confidentiality. If you want to be a policeman or policewoman to go and do investigations, just do that. If you want to be a counselor, then you are not a policewoman or a policeman. Let us go down there to listen, and then I'll be closing the presentation. Just go to barriers listening. Barriers listening.